Hello, my name is Ben Keys, and I'm just doing another update on my UMOSRAS SpaceTM profile. I'm going to put this video out for anyone who's interested to have a look at it and see where we've got to. One of my latest videos has talked about the programming methods I've used in setting up my databases and my network to enable SpaceTM, the realities of SpaceTM, which is the duality of the reality of space as it exists out there here in Gloucestershire. And also my UMOSRAS setup, how I intend to use SpaceTM to enable the reality of UMOSRAS to happen through the torsion field technologies, which will manifest themselves around the area where we live. Certainly through the proxy, which I'm giving out for free at the moment for the next month or so, but also through other technologies which will interconnect through the various servers that are involved in the process of creating UMOSRAS as a whole. And the ultimate reality will be to bring the light web through the technology, which is actually the creative substance, say, of the universe, to be channeled by these torsion sockets to go throughout the network and ultimately change the whole reality of the landscape, the buildings and the people, the plants, and the machinery and technology. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, explain about a bit, and I'm going to tell you roughly in technological terms where I am now in setting all that up. So far I've had a virtual machine or virtual server um, set up through my hosts, which are Host Presto, which are a British company. They're very good. I recommend them highly. They're quite expensive if you want a lot of storage space. There are other companies out there based in the United States or in Europe, which are a lot cheaper if you want to use a virtual host to set up your server. I've come to the stage now where I'm intending to get my own server with a couple of 2 or 3 or 4 terabytes of HDD storage and about 64 gigabytes of RAM to run my proxy and the whole setup of SpaceTM, which will doing what it's intended to do from the location where it comes from, rather than having something based in London or something based in New York or something based in Las Vegas. It's much easier to have the server based here in my in Amberley, in my flat in at the new lodge in Amberley. So that's what I've that's where I am now. I'm at the stage where I'm having one more month for my virtual server, which is I manage myself with Host Presto, and after that I'm gonna set up a physical piece of hardware, Dell server from my flat where I operate from, which will have its own IP address, and it'll run the whole process of what I want to set up, from home, which is I think a much more satisfactory result. Now I know what I'm doing. The servers are pretty sure I know how to create the program files and the system D files and the all the services that I'm setting up to create ENA and SpaceTM. I can apply that to my own server while at the same time hosting a proxy and any DNS options that I'm setting up with the bind Barclay Internet Name Domain server setup for my DNS and other things which I'm going to set up possibly on a separate server, which I'll run from the same location. So that's where I am technologically. There's a lot of in-depth, there's a lot of things to learn. If you want to learn any of these things, far better than doing an open university course or anything like that. If you actually have your own business you want to set up and run and manage yourself, there's so much out there on the internet that you can learn about how to program, your whole setup. There's not much you can't learn that's uh, on the internet. There's so much information there, um, that if you want to do something similar or do something, an offshoot of what I'm doing, or something of your own idea that requires a server, and you require all these physicalities like the squid proxy or the DNS or whatever it may be. Um, you know, it's quite easy to get set up. I recommend using Host Presto as a first port of call. They do some very cheap servers with minimal amounts of hard drive storage. But if you want to upgrade that, I recommend, once you know what you're doing, getting your own hardware and setting up your server from your own location. So that's where I am technologically, with the whole SpaceTM and UMOSRAS program. Um, the various different things I've done. I've set up the lifebook on it. I've done various different keys for the lifebook. I've done a whole program on different machines, different virtual machines. I've got about 5 different virtual machines, that I've set up on my server. And I've used Git version control on my cPanel account to enable this, and then I've developed that and turned, using the change mode method on the Linux system. I use a CentOS 7 server, by the way. I use the change mode on the Linux system to enable the file to be accessible to the systemd setup. So you set up a service on the systemd manager, and then you can then do systemctl restart, whatever the service is, and usually it fires into action, and everything runs itself from there. So that's some of the technological jargon about how I'm setting up what I'm doing, and how far it's actually going. But apart from that, it's more of the same, really. It's just plodding away at getting a proxy set up. What I'm intending to do with my proxy is using the SpaceTM commodities, is to enable phone companies to link up to mobile phone companies, or people who supply internet at low cost generally, and offer them the service of unlimited data, full security, cyber security written into it, the crime and accident premonition and prevention systems, the lifebook. Ultimately, when people are connected to a phone network that uses my proxy as a data source, they'll get all these things supplied. So I'm looking for people who are interested in connecting over these issues, and setting up a system where we can provide masses of cheap data, unlimited amounts of it. If you look at my other videos, SpaceTM, for example, um, talking about where and what the commodities of SpaceTM are, and how they're a duality, and rich in the nutrients of communications technology, say, for example. Which, if you look at my SpaceTM website, which is spacetm.uk, you'll be able to see the whole process of what we're offering and what we're going to set up for people who ordinary people, or people who have stuff they want to protect, or information they want to protect, or they feel they're being got at, because of cybersecurity being lax in their phone network and all that sort of thing. We're going to improve all that quality at a minimal cost, which will enable the price of all these phenomena to come right down, especially in the situation uh, situation of mobile phone networks, which ultimately, we can ch change the reality and bring about a much securer, cheaper network that doesn't need to beam information from the planet up to a satellite and back to Earth. which is what the competitors are offering. We're actually channeling as a duality from the space realities of these torsion nutrient rich in technology from the existence of space itself. So that's where we are with SpaceTM. That's what SpaceTM is offering, and also on the DNS side of things. For people who want, I believe DNS is actually the future. I think with certain settings, such as the Quad 9 setup, uh, combined with the bind DNS server protocols, the config file set up correctly, I think we can enable a much securer system through DNS once a static IP address has been set up on your system. It's possible to directly channel the realities of UMOSRAS and SpaceTM directly via DNS, which for me is rather than having a proxy, it's much more direct, and it gets right to the core of the solution. So those are some of the things I'm setting up on my server and proposing to offer to various clients, be they phone companies or security or public services or whatever it may be that require these options to help them improve their security and general bring down the price and the whole scheme of adding to the improvement of the overall program that they're running. Also in the private sector, these options are going to be available, hopefully through the proxy, but there will be DNS options available, possibly off a different server from the one I'll be managing the public sector clients with. So all of this is going to be set up around Gloucestershire, but there will be temporary ARC connections connected to the wider world to drum up support for doing business with the county and the local area around the county. The idea is to share it with as many people as we can. The more the merrier, and it's strength in numbers rather than selling it out too far and wide too cheaply. If anyone's interested, please contact me on my spacetm.uk website. There's a contact us button which links back to my UMOSRAS page. If you connect to that, it gives my details there. You can give me a call and talk about options further down the line. Anyway, that's about the everything I need to say about SpaceTM and UMOSRAS today. If there's anyone has any questions, please feel free to contact me or leave a comment under this video. Please like and share this video, and any other information you require, I'm happy to supply. I can do a private conversation and tell you a bit more about how these technologies work and everything else. I've given you a rough overlay of how they operate. Some of my other videos give a bit more detail as to where I'm coming from on this adventure. But please like and share this video and pass it around as many people as you can. It's all about word of mouth. We're taking the whole thing to a super digital age. We're moving away from the old-fashioned digital telecommunications networks, which limit the whole reality of how fast we can expand and bring about new horizons to what we're all doing, and a new dimension to what we're doing. It's more important that rather than worrying about the clout of money and the fact that money affects the bias of how things operate on this planet. If things start from grassroots initiatives and build up, then we start to see that there's actually more strength in the hard work that people put in, the self-belief and the determination they put in their processes, and linking to this network through either a proxy or whatever it may be, just secures what people are doing without too much surveillance going on, unless there's crime and accident involved. But generally, it's for peace of mind and for an easier system to operate the future dimension as things progress, away from this whole situation we find ourselves in at the moment, to rebuilding the economy. It's my belief that the tech industries, in this new phase that we're going through, are the future in building up the economy of this planet. Under lockdown, people are going to consolidate. They're going to make more things happen, and this is what I'm finding. More people are interested in future realities rather than sticking with the past. You know, digital era, which did nothing more than just cap the potential and prevent people from moving to the next phase as quickly as possible. Which is, we're trying to do away with the caps and just let people move forward into the future. Okay, thank you. Bye.